my babies. We're back. We're on track. And I have a small surprise for you. The little ones are walking now. I don't know what I would call her. This is the girl. And there's a dude. I still haven't named them, but they're moving about now. So, yeah. But anytime I stand up, I literally look at the floor for like 15 minutes. It's like, what's going on? Are they here? But today's video is a bit, I don't know, I guess, I'm not a speaker, I'm a lecturer. The speaker explains what he knows, a lecturer questions what he knows using the people that are willing to listen. So it was clear I was having some form of like thought or organization or just trying to build, trying to destructure the labels that kind of come with things, right? So here, one of the questions I used to struggle with, why am I saying used to struggle with? One of the questions I asked myself a lot, and I kind of like engaged with a lot, was when somebody asks me like, "What's your profession?" What the fuck do I tell them? Right? So it's like technically right now, I'm a software engineer. I'm a web developer at the very least, and I know how to code when it comes to the back end. So basically, yeah, the I do basically front end architecture in a way, and I'm naturally everything I do is I'm getting better at because I'm gaining skills. I do online marketing as well. I have 9 years and 10 months of experience from consulting to basically building businesses and everything logistics. And I can everything digital for you, like anything SEO optimization, online marketing, e-commerce, like payment systems or something like this. Just like it's there, right? Everything has become tangible. And it's very simple as long as there's a clear need for it. Like if I kind of decide this is what I need for my platform, then within 3 days to a week, I'm familiar enough with it to use it. And then basically from there, everything is built with that in mind. So I just kind of like, it evolves with me. But I always used to kind of like say, like, okay, what am I? Okay, I'm a web developer. But am I really? No. I'm a business analyst. Well, that's what I used to do in the last 4 years of Liberia. And I took a course and I just have to like take the exam, right? But am I a business analyst? Well, not really. I can do business analysis. I can do web development. I can create a logistical setup. I can market using Facebook, using Instagram, using Google, Yahoo, YouTube, sorry, and using like at the very least the basics of networks, right? I can build you a platform, a business e-commerce website using Shopify or something else. But that still doesn't say like what do I do? And over the past couple of weeks, I've been kind of like chilling with the whole idea of like what do I do? The closest thing I got to was a business coach, right? Because like most of these years, all I do is I try to build businesses and I learn from them and I fail and I just kind of do something different or go to a different market. It all depends, right? And so maybe that was the issue. I just went to a different market with the same attitude. Now I'm kind of like building on top of myself with one goal in mind. So every time I fail, I kind of like approach it differently. And that guarantees my success, right? So, but the closest thing I am is the closest thing that I do is kind of like a business coach, but I also like am very much building a business as I speak. I'm kind of like preparing marketing strategies, like the two market strategies and just basically product development because I'm trying to expand on what's the product that I'm actually giving people. I have the vision, I have the mission, I have the idea and all that stuff, but we kind of need to there needs to be a lot more clarity and a lot of development when it comes to that field. So I don't know. A label is a label, but ultimately, like what I'm doing, when I looked at what I'm doing when it came to YouTube, or at the very least when it came to explaining my thoughts, I kind of like reflected on what I know because like there are like two kinds of there's public speakers and there's lecturers. The lecturers are kind of like professors or people that are engaging with something. But like my favorite guy is Richard Feynman. I fucking love that dude, man. And a few times, like I'm picking up a habit of like considering what would he do anytime I kind of feel frustrated or like something's off. Like how would he do things differently? And it's fun to imagine. But he basically gave lectures, and he discusses how every single time he gave a lecture, everything kind of changed. And he's the guy who created the Feynman technique. The Feynman technique is like if you want to learn something, well, teach it. So ultimately, like I'm not really like speaking as much as I am kind of like trying to create reference points for my doubt where I can where I can build my connection with the trust that I have that that doubt exists for a reason. So the goal is for me to kind of like establish better my relationship with whatever it is I am talking about. And that's the self-actualization part that I always talk about. Because ultimately, when I hear myself speak, and especially to somebody, I have an easier way to look at myself and kind of like, um, I would discern, I would have separated the concepts that was trying to approach through through the conversation that I was trying to have. And by doing that, effectively, I'll be able to objectively realize the points where I have not been able to express myself properly. And that's because I want to build a skill that allows me to kind of like be able to express myself and express myself naturally. It's not dancing, it's not music, although all of them are very much something that I, but like there's something that I would like to see more of in this world, right? And that's basically your expression. Whether it's you want to see because like a lot of people, the musicians that you talk to, all they wanted to do was make good music. They wanted to see music in the world around them, and they contributed to it. That's their side of the expression. That's their expression. And I feel business as well, and entrepreneurs and professors, like everyone that's trying to contribute to like the whole essence, whether it is humanity or the world or something, they're expressing how they are on the inside through the work that they do. And effectively, I'm trying to figure out how to express myself. So even though I don't have a degree, I'm more of a lecturer than I am a speaker. Because I don't know if it's motivation that you guys get out of me, or I'm sure confusion. Honestly, man, I really think this could be entertaining. I really think it's like, you want a challenge, keep up. But it's fun things. A speaker explains what he knows, which is true. It's like the speakers tend to prepare in advance what they'll be speaking about and the points, and the goal for them is kind of like establish a point of view. Whilst the lecturer is kind of reassuring himself through the conversation directly that he does. Through the conversation that he does basically directly with whoever's watching. Like for me, I literally like anytime I'm saying something intense or I'm saying something completely like I'm confident in, I look directly in the camera. And for me, it's as if like I'm actually looking. I don't know what I saw that as an advice, like looking at the cameras as if I'm looking at you. Fun. But the times where I'm kind of like not really confident in what I'm saying and I'm trying to discuss something deeply, what happens is I start looking at myself because I want to see where I'm not kind of like harmonizing with myself, I guess, or maybe it's just like my insecurities, kind of like the self consciousness that comes out. Just like I look at myself, but like, how am I looking saying this? Is it working? Do they believe me? But so a lecturer questions what he knows using the people that are willing to listen. So both of them are kind of selfish, right? But one is kind of like a speaker, kind of like I'm sending a message. I want you to get it. That's my take. That's my end goal. Whilst the lecturer is I'm sending a message. I want to get it. I want to understand it better. I want to see if it actually made sense. I want to gauge your reaction to understand if this message is worth taking, like, diving more into, I guess, or just don't want if we are not to use the word deep in our conversation, it's like diving deeply. What if we create a more like staying in the water for a longer period of time? Like instead of diving deeper into a topic, staying with it for a longer period of time. I think that makes better swimmers than people who can dive deep, right? I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying like one is maybe less challenging, I guess, because in your head to dive deep means you're entering like the abyss or some shit like this. While staying longer in water is just kind of like swimming a bit more, something you already know how to do. I think that's there's that difference because like when you're actually trying to I don't know, like the lecturer part that's basically trying to understand what they're trying to say through the people in front of them. What effectively they're doing is they're looking for a conscious decision. Should I continue with this subject, whether as a conversation or as a part of what I actually want to be thinking about in the future, right? Or should I not? And there's no depth behind it. It's just like, let's see where else it can fit kind of style. It's a video. Woohoo!